Up, up. It looks like we are live, guys. What in the world is going on with you guys now? I apologize for the tardiness. I'm never on time, it seems like. I'm always like 2 or 3 minutes behind, but that's all right. In this video, episode 28, I believe, of the Streamline Podcast, and in this video, we are going to be talking about my favorite characters from the Final Fantasy series. Now, when I say Final Fantasy series, I'm going to just include the whole franchise, the movies and the games. That anime series, hell no, that was garbage. But anyways, aside from that, maybe it wasn't garbage. Maybe I need to just, sit back and take the time out to just give it another shot. Hell no. We're just going to talk about the games and the movies. All right then, guys. If you know anything, especially from some of the videos I've done on Final Fantasy, it is one of my favorite franchises. Mostly for the games, but I did enjoy the movies, which were flawed, but I really enjoyed them, different aspects of them and everything. But I want to go ahead and admit that, this is a long time coming, and I definitely want to talk about my favorite characters. I'm probably going to be all over the place. And this will include, of course, the main cast, the antagonists, and the side characters. I highly doubt I'm going to get to them all, but just in case I don't, I guess I'll come back in with part 2. I have not played all the games, so I'm not familiar with everyone. Some of the games I have played, I haven't beaten them, so I'm not familiar with all of that stuff. And in having said that, let's get on and enjoy this video. Now, without a doubt, one of my favorite characters of all time is, of course, he's a classic for many fans of not only video games, but just the franchise, for franchise, but the video games also, Cloud Strife. Main protagonist of Final Fantasy VII, awesome character, and I really enjoy the character's story and his persona, and this gradual change throughout the progression of the game. Turns out he's an ex-soldier who ends up joining this revolution and ends up finding out more about himself, that he is not this person that he thinks he is. I do like his character. Yes, he's very serious character, no nonsense type character at the beginning of the game, but as the game goes on, he becomes more friendlier, more open to the other characters, and I really like that about his character. Not to mention that he is just like awesome with the Buster Sword. Of course, his antagonist makes the list. Sephiroth. Sephiroth is freaking awesome on nearly every freaking level. If it isn't just the voice, which I would say whoever they got cast as the voice performances for his character, freaking amazing. Thumbs up to you, dude. You are freaking awesome. I mean, Sephiroth is just a great bad guy altogether. He ends up finding out that he isn't who he thinks he is, and he ends up just becoming this giant douchebag bent on becoming a god. And not only does he just have this long, really big katana that's just like, it's called the Masamune blade. You freaking cut through anything. Dude, badass, sharp dresser. I mean, if they were to make evil incarnate, it would be Sephiroth. Just everything about his character is freaking awesome. Another character I didn't think I'd actually like at first was Lightning from the Final Fantasy 13 games. She's a very serious character, and like Cloud, she does undergo a developing arc where she becomes more friendlier, more open to other characters. I really did like the strength that she did exude. I don't think she felt like she was too strong of a female character, but a strong enough character to actually also learn about her own faults, which makes for a strong character, whether good or bad. But she's actually pretty awesome, and I really like that about her character, especially her loyalty to her friends and her family, which really commendable. We have Tifa Lockhart from the Final Fantasy VII. Again, one of the greatest characters on there. She brings so much heart to the group. She's awesome. And just all her scenes, I really do enjoy her character. Whether she's just kicking ass on the battlefield or whether she's trying to provide comfort for friends, really like that about her. She is definitely one of the the focal points of the group that just make the dynamic of the family of the group actually really good next to Aerith, who is another one of my favorite characters. She's great. She's awesome. She's definitely the light in the darkness. And yes, it was very sad when she died in the freaking video game. I almost cried. And I'm almost thinking about crying now. But that's all right. But we'll go back to Tifa Lockhart. We never really get to see her in action until Advent Children, when she actually fights. Now, that was her when she was completely badass. So I would love to see some gameplay on that. But back to Aerith, I really like Aerith's character. She's learning more. She's come to know who she is and how much power she does have. And I love that her character has such a profound influence upon the story and the other characters of Final Fantasy VII. So she's just a great character all around. Final Fantasy X, we have Lulu. I really like her. She's a great character. I think that she's one of those characters also that's really tough and really kind of nonchalant and really strict. But again, she undergoes a developing arc where she does open up and be a little bit more friendly. I really like her character, the insight that she has, and she's like one of the most badass magically endowed characters. I mean, she's freaking awesome. She sit here and she has this bear. You equip her with bears and shields and stuff. When she does all these, she's a black mage accompanying Yuna on this journey of hers, and I really like that dynamic, especially when it comes to Yuna. You have Waka. I didn't really like Waka. I'm just bringing them in up, and I did like Yuna. Yuna was a pretty good character, but you got Waka as kind of like the playful type older brother, and then you got Lulu who's kind of like the older sister that's a little bit more strict, kind of. So I really like that dynamic. I do like Lulu. We have Cecile Harvey from Final Fantasy IV. I really liked his character, especially when he learned. When he learned more about himself and discovered his own purpose. And I like that he has that light dark aspect to his character. Thought he was freaking awesome, especially in conflict with his brother. I believe that was his brother. Is it Garland or Gomez? I keep forgetting. I think it's Garland, actually. That was supposed to be his brother. While I'm talking about that, I had to look that up. I like one of my favorite characters from Final Fantasy VII, once again, Yuffie. I love that she's playful. She tries to be serious, but she's a really playful character. And especially when you meet her, she's in the woods and you manage to beat her, and then she ends up joining the group. I really like that about her character. And you see a bit more of that playfulness in Advent Children. I think that was really like that is like her thing to the group. She's got that goofiness to her, a little happiness to her, and I think that completely works. She's like the humor, basically. So I think that does work in her favor. But I like the fact that she's like this badass ninja, because again, when you look at Final Fantasy VII Advent Children, everybody kind of gets to show their stuff, and I like the little ninja thing that she did on there. So I really like that about her character. Vivi from Final Fantasy IX, great character, extremely great, well done character, especially learning his place in the world and deciding what his future is going to be. Is he alive? Is he not alive? You know, really found his character to be a really deep and engaging character, especially considering like what the black mages are and how he sticks out from them. So I really enjoyed this character. Another character from Final Fantasy IX that I like was Beatrix. She was a great, awesome character. Not only is she badass, she's like this queen. No, she's like the general of the Queen's Guard, while Steiner is kind of like the it's like the general of the male half of it. So, and I like their kind of back and forth, which I didn't like Steiner initially, but I do like him now, because I think he has a bit more growth in his character throughout the game too. And Beatrix also gets that growth too, especially concerning the main chick. I can't remember her name now. I'm gonna call her Dagger. Yeah, Dagger's character. So I did like Beatrix, especially she was just a kick-ass character. From Final Fantasy 13, we have Ober Yun Fang, which I call her Fang, and I like Fang. She's pretty badass. She's pretty deep. She's a really skillful warrior, and not to mention she's fine as hell. I mean, they went with somebody exotic, and she looks good. But I like her relationship with Vanille, even though it's not really expressed what that relationship is. Are they like family? Are they really close friends? Are they cousins? Are they lovers? I don't know. It can't be no lover because the girl's younger than her. But you know how these Japanese games are. And Japanese stuff is with the whole young girl and all that stuff. But I like Vanille's character because she was very hopeful. She was very energetic. I like that she brought that light to the group. And I like Fang as well because Fang was just, I just like that serious tone that she had that's kind of mirroring Lightning's a little bit, but she's a little bit more open, especially when you get to see more of that dynamic with Vanille's character. So I really did enjoy that with her character. Especially that one part where she like kind of breaks down as like, F it, I don't want to have to deal with this. And she's like, I fight child, beat child and all that stuff because I don't want to, I really enjoyed that about her character. We have another character from the Final Fantasy VII, Zack Fair. He didn't get much shine in Final Fantasy VII, but we did get a chance to see him in the Crisis Core Final Fantasy VII game. Great character, energetic, completely likable. He seems like the type of dude that you can like go have a beer with, and he would be just cool to be down. And he even seems like he'd be like a good friend because you can see that dynamic he has with Sephiroth, the dynamic he has with Angel, with Cloud even. It's with Aerith when he's talking to Tifa. He's just a likable character, just all around, hopeful, energetic, just a great character. Tries to stay positive, great for a fight too. I like that. I like characters like that. Like, yeah, I'm ready for this fight. I like that. Even when you see the beginning of the game, he's like really excited, and his mentor and Jill's like, "Hey, keep your head in the game, man. This ain't just fun." I haven't beaten this game, but I did like the character, Kefka Palazzo, who is the main antagonist of Final Fantasy VI. I like the fact that he. Like, everybody compares him to, like, the Joker. And I can understand that. I like that he's just jester / clown. That even though he acts kind of goofy, the dude's straight serious, straight psychotic, and just straight up crazy. And I like that about his character, that he is unpredictable. And he would just sit there and just go out and just kill people for no freaking reason. And I always say that if a bad guy isn't, like, badass, that he has a great personality, and I think Kefka actually has the both of those worlds. So he was just a great character, and it's no wonder so many people really like him. And I think I even got a little bit even more attached to the character when I was playing the Dissidia series, and he was just he was a joke up in there, but he was pretty serious. So I really like this character. Another bad guy I'm going to bring up, who I recently was like, man, this dude is actually pretty awesome, was Ardeen Azuria from Final Fantasy 15. I watched the movie, didn't really like the movie the first time I seen it, and I was playing the game, and I was like, man, this guy's actually freaking awesome. And at first I didn't like him, but then as I'm playing, I'm like, this guy's pretty badass. Like his personality. Yes, his motivations is it's understandable to a certain extent, because he was denied something that probably should have been his, but like, it's just his personality and how he comes off. Somewhat like Kefka a little bit, where it seems kind of genuine, and then there's things going on. Well, Kefka was kind of crazy off the bat, so I'm not going to say Kefka. But they did do the same thing where they are the main antagonist, but they use other people to do their dirty work. But I do like Ardeen. I really did enjoy his character, especially when I went back and watched the movie over again. I was like, yes, I gained appreciation for him. I just love that the bad guy that acts really goofy, but he's actually like dead serious. Another character that did that was Naruto Shippuden. Toby's character, he's really goofy, but then when he actually acts as Obito, dead serious. So I really did enjoy that about Ardeen's character. He was really a really awesome character in mine, and one of the best characters in Final Fantasy 15, if I might add. Auron from Final Fantasy X Strikes. He's a really serious character, really no nonsense character, but the dude just looks badass. ass. He walks around with his arm hanging in his coat, and he's got the big ass broadsword, and I'm like, this dude is bad, especially when his first introduction in Final Fantasy X, where Sin is like collecting all that water in Xanarkand, and then he's just standing on top of that building or that statue, whatever the hell it was, and I'm like, this dude looks all badass. He's like the Dark Knight of Final Fantasy. Another character from Final Fantasy VI was Terra. I really enjoyed her character and her growth and development arc. She's just a great, nice, likable, and just a cool character, especially after she learned, after the whole mind control thing. So it's no way I couldn't really not like her character. I thought she was actually pretty badass. Another character from Final Fantasy IX, Blank. Yes, he was a supporting character, but I actually liked him. And not only did I like his design, I liked his like sharp wit and his dialogue with some of the other characters, like Zidane, which I did like Zidane. Zidane was one of my favorite characters as well. Quina, I like Quina. I like Vivi, like I said. I do like Dagger's character. I liked what's the little girl name? I can't remember her freaking name. The little girl with the horn. I really thought she was adorable, and she did bring up a bit of innocence to the cast. Amory, I wish they could have did a little bit more with his character, but I think his character was pretty cool too. Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII, great mysterious character, completely badass in the movie. I like Reno. Reno from Final Fantasy VII was freaking awesome, and I love those type of henchmen that are kind of clumsy, they're kind of goofy, but they're like really cool. And Reno kind of embodies that, even in the games. He's awesome. Rufus, I like him. The dude, Rufus is ruthless. You get that in Final Fantasy VII. And I do like his seriousness to his character, which I thought was actually a great stepping point as an antagonist, and that game was great. Professor Hojo, a complete dick. Who's basically responsible for all the crap that's going on, especially with Sephiroth, a big douchebag, and honestly, he is Sephiroth's father, but he's basically this mad scientist. But I did like Hojo. I think Hojo was pretty awesome, too. I like Barrett. There's no one in Final Fantasy that has more colorful language than Barrett next to Sid. Because Sid, them two were just completely beast. I did like their no-nonsense personalities. I thought they was actually pretty cool characters. I did like most of the cast of Final Fantasy 13. I was on the fence about the boy. I can't remember his name. Which, like I said, I might have to make a part 2 because we are already at the 17, almost 18-minute mark concerning this. I'm not really sure about his character so much because at first I thought, see, somebody, you doing a video, somebody call your phone. I had to let them know what for. But anyways, I really did appreciate his character in the end when he actually went through this developing arc. No, Snow was the dude. I can't remember what the boy's name is now. I don't know. Whatever that boy's name is. Darn it! Can't remember his freaking name. The little boy. I can't remember his name. But Snow was the character I could not stand that mother. I'm sitting here watching like this dude is just so freaking arrogant. And he just don't see like the stuff that he does is like harming people. I'm like, you're a douchebag. But then again, it took me some time to get to liking the character, but I actually did come to like the character. Now I will say there are some in this game, Final Fantasy Type 0 HD. I'm interested to see what they're gonna do with the characters because I do see some characters I do like, but I don't want it to be I like them because of their gameplay, which I think that's what it is. I want to see them get a bit of backstory and stuff like that, and personality, so I can like them a bit more. But I did really appreciate many of the characters in the Final Fantasy. Hell, I like Kuja. I think Kuja was absolutely a great bad guy. I don't really like the design and the over effeminateness of the character because the whole time I thought it was a chick at first when I first played the freaking game. Turns out it's a damn dude. But I did understand where his character was kind of coming from throughout the story. So I did jump on the ship with Kuja. I like seeing. I'm trying to think of what Jet. Yeah. Titus's father, which I like Titus. I end up liking Titus and most of the characters in Final Fantasy X. Jet, I thought was a big douchebag, but then you end up learning more about his character. I was like, yes, I'm on board with him. Seeing one of the best bad guys to ever grace the Final Fantasy mythos. Great, intimidated, imposing, powerful, menacing. Everything a bad guy needs to be, except it lacks personality. There are some more characters, and I probably will go into more depth with another video about this, but I wanted to give my general thoughts and just talk about my favorite ones, like off the top of my head. In the comment section below, guys, let me know who are your favorite characters in the Final Fantasy mythos, both the movies and the games. You know what? In fact, I'm going to make a part 2 to this because I didn't explore the movies enough either. So we're definitely going to come back with this, with another one of these bad boys. Be sure to like, share, subscribe to the video. And remember, guys, Tuesdays and Thursdays, we do put up more videos. So y'all stay tuned for that. And we'll definitely catch you on the next one. Remember, part 2 is next. Stay tuned.